Hey everybody, welcome to Super Stock Bros. My name is Ace, and today we're going to be talking about Square and how it's going to make you money. All right, so first thing we want to do is talk about the team, because as we know, you need to bet on the right jockey in order to win the race. And you know what? Square has a great management team. Of course, we're actually familiar with the CEO. It is Jack Dorsey. He is the CEO of Twitter, and great history behind this guy. Maybe I'll do a video on him later. But yeah, this guy's a visionary. He knows how to implement. He knows where the world is going, and I like the way he thinks. A lot of people have compared him to like a mix of Musk and Steve Jobs or something like that. I think it's a great comparison. I think he has the innovation, and he's very intelligent like Musk is. Obviously, Steve Jobs is a very intelligent guy as well, but he is much of a showman. He knows how to work a crowd, and he also knows how to build an ecosystem that everybody likes. So Jack Dorsey is definitely high up on that list. All right, we have the CFO of Square, who is Amrita Ahuja. She was also the CFO of Blizzard, and honestly, if you can control the finances of Blizzard during their heyday of WoW, then you must be a pretty smart lady. Next up, we got Jesse over here. Jesse is the hardware lead, so he was the one that implemented the first version of the Square actual piece that you plug into your phone. Actually, it was his idea, and he talked to Jack Dorsey about it, and they got this whole thing going. So very smart guy. He actually worked as a part of Apple's engineering team. So another heavy hitter there. You also have Brian, who's the Cash App lead. He looks like he was a long-term Square employee, very loyal from the start to finish from the sounds of it. And now he's leading one of the biggest apps on the market for cash lending, especially to small and medium-sized businesses. Next up, you actually have Alyssa Henry. So she is the seller lead, and while that sounds like she's a salesperson of sorts, it's she actually leads the engineering and development and design of the seller financial app. So so that's pretty big. She also used to be the VP of Amazon Web Services. So very big heavy hitter there as well. As you can tell, this team is incredible, right? You have a general counsel who is Sivan, and also you have a people team lead in Helena. So very, very solid crew here. I love the management. Jack Dorsey, like I said, can't praise the guy enough. Very smart guy. You know, some people might have mixed opinions on him, but there's no doubting the success of Twitter, and once again with the success of Square, as it's now getting to be a very mature stock. So next up, we are going to talk about the innovation of Square. So what has Square been doing to put itself ahead of the crowds? Square is a very interesting app because, yeah, it started off as a piece of technology you plug into your phone and swipe for credit cards. Sure, they could have stopped there, but I think they saw the future in basically what Elon Musk was laying out with PayPal, where you can actually revolutionize the entire industry. And by doing that, you can take over peer-to-peer, you can take over small business lending, you can take over a bunch of different things that lock people into this particular ecosystem. Foreign exchange conversions are a hassle right now. Sending to long distances, another hassle. So like all of these things, Square is improving upon. So they're also doing other things like appointments. So when I was running my startup, appointments was a big thing to worry about, and this was actually always a huge problem. Appointments are just a hassle no matter what you do, and it seems like Square is also trying to solve that problem for their customers. So that was probably the feedback that they got, and now they're actually able to do it through their application. Next, they have some team management software, so this is very good as well. Of course, they have the Cash App. So a bunch of smart innovations coming out here. And in fact, you can actually see a few more of them in the investor deck. If you scroll up over here, actually, yes. So you see that you have Square for restaurants. Of course, you have a developer API, which you always need, especially if you want to compete with the likes of Stripe, which we'll talk about later. But you also have, capital lending, appointments, invoices, payroll, all of these things pertain to money, obviously, and they want to support the businesses that are actually requiring these functionalities, and they're therefore delivering. So I love, you can almost see the feedback loop between Square's customers and their management team. right? They're listening. They want to lock in these customers. They want to provide them with the best possible financial services. And that's why I actually think that this app is going a long way to creating their own ecosystem, which funny enough, big company that we know, Apple, created an ecosystem with a bunch of great products. So nobody cares about being trapped in that ecosystem. Well, that's exactly what Square is trying to do here. As you can see, they want to get the restaurants on board. They want to get retail on board. So a bunch of different things that they're doing here. And you can actually look at the deck. This is what I'm looking at right now to see exactly what they're doing. So they're going across multiple verticals, retail, food, and they're going to have everything on board soon enough. And I think it's great. Tracking, workflow, obviously they had point of sales. That was that was the bread and butter, basically. Gift cards, you name it. Okay, so here we have a video from HyperChange, and he actually has a great analysis. I think I agree with everything that he says here. And he called this back in December 2018, so good for him. Take a look at it. It's a quick clip. I put the link in the description below if you want to check it out. But here we go, a minute of this.
Opportunity. So when I think about the opportunity for Square, I mean, like I said, they're building this entire back end sort of banking infrastructure for small to medium sized businesses. Just that Square Capital thing I mentioned, the data advantage they have from all of their payment volume on merchants they can use to start lending to the right people is an incredible, like that alone, I think could justify the whole valuation of 30 billion in the long term. So that's just one piece of the way I look at it. And the other thing is then you have all these things like payroll and all these other value add-on services that are also huge billion-dollar industries that they're disrupting as well. But then on the consumer side, you have the Cash App and sort of this new, you think about how Square can integrate crypto. They're really becoming a consumer-facing bank as well. And they're overall just an incredibly trusted brand by both vendors and consumers. This new age digital bank that's connecting them with this payments ecosystem. Like I think the potential for Square is to be a multi-$100 billion financial services company that really brings payments and financing and money into the digital age. And so that's the vision for Square. That's what has me so excited. I think that's a company that's hundreds of billions of dollars. They have a young CEO who can get them there. They're showing all the right signs of generating a ton of traction in the market early with their products. They're innovating quickly. I just think Square has some sort of it factor that's hard for me to quantify that makes me think they're going to win. And if they win, I think they're attacking a multi-$100 billion opportunity. I think this company can get 10x bigger from here to being worth 300 billion, maybe more. And so that's why I like investing in it today. That's why I'm.
So totally agree with the multiple points there. He talks about the ecosystem. He talks about the data that they're collecting and the smart decisions that they can make on that data. Think about a bank, what they do to figure out if you're a accredited lender. They gather all your information, all that stuff. Square already does that, and they can actually run statistics on your company to figure out if you are a company that is deserving of being lent money, right? Because now it's reducing the risk. And actually, there have been stats to I agree with this. Basically, it says that the lending from Square is 5 times less risky than lending from a bank because of all of the additional information and statistics that you have. So great points by HyperChange over here. Like I said, check out the video in the description below. Totally agree with all of it. And I really do think that he's right about that. And he was actually right about it getting to over $100 billion. So that's already correct. But I think it's going to go to $300-500 billion easily. Before we go a little bit further, let's also think about competition. So competition is very important. I'm a developer myself. Whenever I'm looking to do payment APIs, I'm thinking, okay, what should I do? What's out in the market? I know Stripe is available. Stripe is incredible. Documentation is there. They do a lot of the same things that Square does. In fact, I would actually argue that right now Stripe is better for developer use. But there's a big but here. Stripe isn't as well funded, and I also think that Square is gaining more leverage with their ecosystem. And honestly, I think in the long run, Square is going to win out. That being said, the Square API is also great. I've used it a couple times myself. Very good as well. In terms of PayPal, everyone must be wondering this. Okay, so PayPal introduced their crypto just like Square did. PayPal, I like. I used it. I still use it. I'm a customer. But my only issue with PayPal is they're kind of getting stagnant. And what do I mean by that? They're still innovating. They have PayPal Me for their peer-to-peer. They have all of these other things. But I mean, just reading their report, you know what? Like, I'm seeing a lot of warning signs here, a lot of red flags. We're seeing a lot of more social politics type of things going on here. I think that they're entering the conservative stage of the startup life cycle. That's what I personally think. I think it's still a great company. It deserves the value it has, but I would go with Square all the way here. In terms of diversification, if you want to do Stripe, PayPal, and Square, it's up to you. I actually would probably go Stripe and Square. Now, in terms of the target and the conclusion, I'm going to have to say that my target is, right now, it's pretty high up there, and I wish I made this video earlier. But I'm actually thinking that it's going to be 1,000 by 2025. So we're talking about 5x price target. That's my personal opinion. I think it's going to get there. I have that as part of my portfolio. And like I said, this is for entertainment. You can watch this journey along with me. But I'm thinking Square is going to 1,000. So, you know what? Take that as you will. And do your DD and see if you can get in there. Well, till next time, bros. Let's make those gains.